Welcome dear children to today's session in physics, that is chapter 1, principle of superposition. Okay, so principle of superposition we have to deal with when more than two charges are present. We already discussed Coulomb's law that gives you the force of interaction between two charges. Okay, now if more than two charges are present, what will be or how will you find the net force acting on one charge? That's what principle of superposition deals with. So as an example, we'll consider a system in which we have three charges. Okay, so we have three charges, three or four charges suppose we have. So here Q1, this is Q2, here you have Q3 and here you have Q4. So four charges are there in the system. We want to find the net force acting on any of these four charges. Suppose we consider Q1. On Q1, what is the net force acting? That's what we are going to discuss. So the thing is this, since three other charges are present, Q2 will be exerting a force on Q1, Q3 will be exerting a force on Q1, Q4 also will be exerting a force on Q1. We assume that, for our easiness, we assume that all the charges are like charges. Okay, either positive or negative, they are like charges. So the force of interaction is only of repulsion. Okay, so the thing is this, on Q1, Q2 exerts a force, on Q1 itself, Q3 exerts a force, and on Q1, Q4 also exert a force. So what about the net force experienced by this Q1? That's what this principle of superposition says. According to principle of superposition, see, the force of interaction between Q1 and Q2 is unaffected by the presence of Q3 or Q4, or the presence of Q3 and Q4 will not affect the force of interaction between Q1 and Q2. Similarly, the force of interaction between Q1 and Q3 is unaffected by the presence of the other two charges, that is Q2 and Q4. So independent of all other charges, each charge will be exerting a force on Q1. Okay, so what about the net force? The net force, according to principle of superposition, will be equal to the vector sum of forces due to individual charge. So Q2 will be exerting a force, then Q3 exerts a force, Q4 also exerts a force. So the net force acting on Q1 will be equal to the vector sum of forces due to individual charges. That's what principle of superposition says. So we will represent those forces in this diagram. So force on Q1 due to Q2, it acts along the line joining Q1 and Q2. So this is the direction of force, and as I said, all the charges are what type of charge? Like charges. The force is that of repulsion. So here the force is acting in this direction. Q2 exerts a force on Q1. Since it is repulsion, this is the direction. So we write that force as F12, force on Q1 due to Q2. So F12 is in this direction. Now Q3 exerts a force on Q1, and that force acts along the line joining Q3 and Q1. So this is the line of action of that force, and since the charges of like charge, similar charges, repulsion again. So this is the direction of F13. So F12 in this direction, F13 in this direction. So on Q1 itself, forces are acting. Now Q4 is here. So the force acting on Q1, it is acting along the line joining this Q4 and Q1. So this is the line of action of that force, and that force we can call as F14. So this is F14. So all the arrow marks you can see it is outwards because all the charges are like charges and all forces involved are of repulsion. So at Q1 or on Q1, three forces are acting, F12, F13 and F14. So according to superposition principle, the net force acting on Q1, suppose we call it as F1, that will be equal to the vector sum of forces due to individual charges. Which are the forces due to individual charges? F12, F13 and F14. So we have vector F1 is equal to vector F12 plus vector F13 plus vector F14. The vector sum of all these forces gives you the net force acting on this Q1. And vector sum no, so you can find direction also. So this is what principle of superposition says. So once again, according to principle of superposition, the net force acting on a charge in a system of charges is equal to the vector sum of forces due to individual charges, and the force of interaction between any two charges is unaffected by the presence of all other charges. This is what principle of superposition says. So the benefit of the superposition principle is this: in the case of system of charges. What do you mean by system of charges? The system consists of more than two charges. So in such a system, you can find the net force acting on that system by this method. So suppose suppose we are finding what will be that equation. So in this equation, we have to write what is F12, F13 and F14. So what is this F12? F12 will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Okay, F12. The charges involved are Q1 and Q2. Q1, Q2 divided by. So that distance we call it as R12, and that vector, unit vector you can write as R12 cap. In this direction, the unit vector is R12 cap. So our expression becomes R12 square. That means 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by R12 square into R12 cap. Similarly, F13 will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Charges involved are Q1 and Q3. So Q1, Q3 divided by that distance, suppose we write as R13, and the unit vector involved we write as R13 cap. That means the unit vector in this direction. In this direction, the unit vector is R13 cap. So Q1, Q3 by R13 square into R13 cap. And similarly, F14 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1, Q4. The charges involved are Q1 and Q4, and the distance let it be R14, and the unit vector involved let it be R14 cap in this direction. So Q1, Q4 by R14 square into R14 cap. So these are the expressions for the three forces. So net force F1 will be equal to the vector sum of these three terms. Okay, so when we write the vector sum, we'll have the expression. So I'm rubbing this diagram. So our expression, it becomes vector F1, that is the force on Q1, is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. That is common in all the three expressions. So you can keep it outside. That into first term, it is Q1 Q2 divided by R12 in R12 square into R12 cap plus Q1 Q3 divided by R13 square into R13 cap plus Q1 Q4 divided by R14 square into R14 cap. This is how the expression comes. So the thing is this principle, superposition principle, even if we explained it for one a small system of 4 charges, you can extend it to any number of charges, 4, 5, 6, any number of charges to n charges you can extend this principle. So that many terms you will have in this equation. So this is what principle of superposition. So according to principle of superposition, the force of interaction between two charges is unaffected by the presence of other charges in the system. And the net force acting on a particular charge in a system of charges is equal to the vector sum of forces due to individual charges. Okay. Now, using principle of superposition, we are doing a problem, that is example 1.6 in the textbook. Okay. So let's see what's the question. Consider 3 charges Q1, Q2, Q3, each equal to Q at the vertices of an equilateral triangle of side L. What is the force on a charge Q placed at the centroid of the triangle as shown? In bracket it is given that capital letter Q is of the same sign as that of small letter q. Okay, so Q1, Q2, Q3, it's given in the diagram, it's given Q1 equal to Q2 equal to Q3. Okay, so in the diagram, I have shown all the charges to be small q itself. Hope the question is clear to you. So in this diagram, at the corners of an equilateral triangle, you have charges q each. In the question it is written Q1, Q2, Q3. In the diagram it is given Q. Q1 equal to Q, Q2 equal to Q, Q3 equal to Q. So we have the same charges at the corners of the triangle. And at the centroid, what do you mean by centroid? It is the point of intersection of all the medians of the triangle. So at that point, another charge capital letter Q is kept. And what you're asked to find is what is the net force acting on that charge Q. That's what is asked. Okay. So how we proceed is we have to find the forces due to individual charges at A, B and C. Okay. So that's what we have to find first by Coulomb's law. Then we have to find the vector sum. That's all. Okay, so let's see what are the forces. So we consider the first charge, that is at Q, that is at A. So the force between these two charges, that means the force exerted by the charge at A on this charge at O, it is both the charges are like charges, the forces of repulsion, it acts along the line joining the two charges. So this force on Q, it is acting on that line, that is along that median. Suppose that force is this. Okay, we call it as FA. That force is FA acting in that direction. Similarly, force due to the charge at B on this charge at O, it is acting along that median. So that force also is of repulsion because all the forces are of equal, that means all the charges are of same sign. So here that force is FB. Okay. Now similarly the force by the charge at C, here it acts along that particular median. So this is that force. So we call it as FC. So FA, FB and FC are the three forces acting on that particular charge, capital letter Q. So what will be the net force? According to principle of superposition, vector F net force is equal to vector FA plus vector FB plus vector FC. This is what we are going to find. So before going to find the vector sum, we will find what is this FA, FB and FC are. Okay, so let's first write what is FA. What is FA? Magnitude. Direction we have already marked. Now we are dealing with magnitude. So the magnitude part we know it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. FA we are finding. So the two charges are Q, Q. So Q, Q divided by that distance. What is that distance from A to O? So that AO square, I am writing it as AO square. Now we have to see what is that AO. What is that AO? AO is this much. That means, see, centroid, from the corner to the centroid, that distance is AO. Okay, so to get to AO, we need to find, suppose I call this point as D. We should first find AD. We should first find AD. So what will be AD? AD, this ABD, you can consider as a right triangle. In that right triangle, you will get AD is equal to, because it is an equilateral triangle, this side is L, so BD will be L by 2, this much portion will be L by 2. So AD will be equal to what? By Pythagoras theorem, it will be root of L square minus L by 2 whole square. So it will be root of L square minus L square by 4, which is equal to root 3 L square by 4, which is equal to root 3 into L by 2. Okay, it will be root 3 L by 2. Which one? AD. Okay, now AD, what we need is AO. AO. So O is the centroid. In lower classes we have studied that a centroid divides each median in the ratio 2:1. Okay, each median, that means each median is divided by the centroid in the ratio 2:1. So what will be AO? AO will be equal to 2/3 into AD. AO will be equal to 2/3 into AD, because this centroid divides that median in the ratio 2:1. So what is that? 2/3 into AD is root 3 L by 2. So 2 get cancelled, and this root 3 and 3, here it comes root 3. So AO is nothing but L by root 3. Very important calculation it is. Okay, so AO comes around L by root 3. So AO is L by root 3. Similarly, BO also is L by root 3. CO also will be L by root 3, because the triangle is an equilateral triangle. Okay, so I am rubbing this and I am writing in that equation. So we have AO as L by root 3. So in this equation, it comes FA. The magnitude of FA is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 QQ divided by L by root 3 whole square. So when we expand this, that root 3 square, it becomes 3 and it goes to the numerator. So it becomes 3 by 4 pi epsilon 0 QQ divided by L square. That is the magnitude of FA. Now if we find magnitude of FB, same way the equation comes. 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 QQ divided by, instead of AO square, you will have BO. What about BO? The fact is this: AO is equal to BO is equal to CO, and that is equal to what? L by root 3. Okay, so in here also L by root 3 square will come, and you will have L square into 3, that is the same as 3QQ divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 L square. The same you will get for FC also. Or in short, the magnitudes of all these forces, FA equal to FB equal to FC. All the three forces have the same magnitude. Okay, so the three forces acting at the Q has same magnitude. Now look at their direction. The directions are like this. You know what will be this angle? Since this triangle is an equilateral triangle, this angle will be nothing but 120 degree. So all the forces, the angle between any two forces, adjacent forces, it will be 120 degree. See here, you can directly apply Lami's theorem, what you studied in first year. Okay, if three equal forces are acting at a point at an angle 120 degree, the resultant will be equal to 0. The resultant of these three forces acting at an angle 120 degree will be equal to 0. So with that, we will have FA plus FB plus vector FA plus vector FB plus vector FV, FC is equal to 0. You can write as by Lami's theorem. By Lami's theorem, you have this result that last year you have already studied in the action of in the equilibrium of forces we have studied. So this is the case. So with that, we have the answer to that question. What is the net force acting on the charge capital letter Q at O? That is equal to 0. Okay, only this much for today. Hope you followed this session. Thank you.